Are you looking for patient-level data for one of your projects, but all you got is a Kaplan-Meier plot? No need to worry. In this video, I'll show you how you can digitize Kaplan-Meier curves like this one and generate pseudo individual patient-level data in just a few simple steps. The first thing you want to do is grab an image of the Kaplan-Meier plot that you want to digitize. You can do that by using the snippet tool to get a screenshot of your curve. Note that you want a file with a high resolution and high image quality to get the best results here. With your image saved, you can now use a tool called the WebPlotDigitizer, which you can find on the Automerus website. This free tool allows you to extract numerical data from images and is really a great option given that similar tools like the Digicelt or PlotDigitizer require a paid license. Once you've launched the WebPlotDigitizer tool, select your file, use the 2D XY axis option and click Calibrate. From here, you specify the XY coordinates of your plot by clicking on the image. The order in which you'll have to do this is X1, X2, Y1 and Y2. That means we start with this point on our x-axis for X1 and this point for X2. Similarly, we repeat this process for Y1 and Y2. In our graph, X1 is 0 and X2 is 20, while our y-axis is defined from 0 to 1. It is important here to make sure that your y-axis is defined between 0 and 1, even if in your plot it may show up as 0 to 100, as this would cause issues with what we're trying to achieve later in this video. Now that we've entered this information, we can click on Calibrate. Next, we need to digitize our curve. We can do this by either manually clicking onto the curve and adding extraction points one by one, or we use automatic extraction. To extract the red curve, I use the color picker here to select it and then draw a box around the relevant data using the box tool, and finally click Run to extract the points. Now I can click on View Data, sort it by X, and download a CSV file of the XY coordinates that we've just extracted. You can also click on Graph in Plotly to get a preview of the data we've just extracted. Looking at the graph, you can already see that there is a problem we need to fix. We want our curve to be non-increasing, meaning it should either stay flat or step downward, but never increase. To rectify this, you could go back to the WebPlotDigitizer tool to adjust your extraction points, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here by making the adjustments directly to the data in our CSV file. The easiest way to make sure that our y values are non-increasing is to use a min function like this one, which ensures that every y value is less than or equal to all previously adjusted values. Plotting this on an XY scatter chart, we can see that we no longer have a problem with increasing y values, and our curve really closely resembles the one that we took from the publication. Before I close and save this file as km_data.csv, I'm adding another column called coordinate, which I'm using to number our time and survival proportion data. Make sure to use the exact column labeling, capitalization, and file name as you see here, as otherwise you will run into issues later. Lastly, I'm adding a time 0 data point where the survival proportion is 1 to represent the start point for our analysis. Looking at our KM curve again, we can see that this already resembles the curve we took from the original paper. However, we still haven't generated the pseudo IPD yet, for which we still need further information about when the events actually occurred. That we must do in R, but before we jump into the coding bit of this video, we still need some information from our KM curve that we're capturing in another CSV file. We're interested in 4 more variables: number at risk, the time intervals, lower and upper. Create a new Excel file and label the first 4 columns nRisk, trisk, lower and upper. nRisk is the number at risk information, which are the red numbers below our original KM graph. Trisk represents our time intervals of our plot. Our plot is labeled from 0 to 20, but there are also number at risk information provided in between, so I'm assuming the authors used a 2.5 time interval. Lower and upper are there to link our nRisk and trisk together. To determine these, we must look back at our first CSV file, and lower thereby is the first coordinate of our time variable that is larger than trisk. So, for example, the lower of trisk equal to 5 is 23, as this is the first coordinate where our digitize data for the time exceeds 5. Upper, on the other hand, is the last coordinate that's still included within each t-risk. Again, for t-risk equal to 5, our upper is 33, as this is the last coordinate where our digitized data for time remains within the bounds of t-risk equal to 5. In other words, 33 is the last coordinate that's below the next time interval for t-risk, which is 7.5 in this case. Once you've entered these parameters based on the KM data you want to digitize, save your file as a CSV labeled risk_table. Again, remember that it's important that you use the exact file name, as otherwise you will encounter issues later in R. With that, we're ready to move on to do a bit of coding in R. Don't worry though, you barely need to do any coding yourself, you just need to change one little thing. What you see me use here is an ever so slightly adjusted version of the Guyot algorithm, who, as far as I'm aware, is the OG when it comes to data reconstruction from published KM data. You can find links to both the original code and the version I'm using in the video description. There you'll also find links to more recent and apparently easier adaptations of this code, like the one from Liu and Lee. In RStudio, simply create a new R script, copy-paste the adjusted R code and save it to your PC, which in my case is a folder location on my desktop. Make sure to save the two CSV files we created earlier to that same location. Back in RStudio, we can click on Session, Set Working Directory, and then click on To Source Location. This tells R where to look for our files. Now, the only thing you need to do is update the path in line 7 to the location where you saved your two CSV files and the R script. To get the location path, right-click on one of the files you saved and go to Properties. There you should see the file location, which you can copy into R. Keep in mind that R expects forward slashes, but at least on Windows, file paths use backward slashes, so you have to swap them manually. Assuming you're using the exact file names for the two CSV files we created earlier, as well as the exact same column headings, you should be able to run the code from here without touching anything else. Hit Ctrl A, click Run, and you should see a table like this pop up in your console pane. To check if we're successful in generating our pseudo IPD, we can do two things. The first thing you can do is run this line of code here to generate a new Kaplan-Meier curve using the individual patient level data we just reconstructed. If things went well, you should be able to see a plot that resembles the one that you've started with. The second thing you can do is type View IPD into the console pane, highlight it and hit Enter. This opens your patient level dataset as a scrollable table in a new window in RStudio. So in our case, a table with 944 rows for the 944 patients in the arm we just digitized. As you can see, this table has 3 columns, and the first column is the survival time. The second column indicates if the patient had an event or not, whereby 1 means they had an event and 0 means they were censored. And the third column is a treatment arm indicator, which is just 1 for us, but you can kind of ignore that. Now that we've created our pseudo patient level data, you can do further analysis on this, like survivor extrapolation, for example. And in case you're building a partition survival model, this would be quite helpful. I haven't covered extrapolation yet, but if you'd like to learn more about survival analysis, check out the video that you can see on screen next, where I walk you through an example using R to analyze a dataset of patients with advanced lung cancer.